Hello,
And
hello,
we're live.
everybody. Welcome here to the World Digital Marketing Academy Live. We do lives every Thursday, and I invite you to subscribe, follow us as we bring you tips and information to help you develop your online digital business. So today we want to talk a little bit about the techniques to stay committed and achieving your results. Welcome, Jim.
Thanks, Fabio. It's been a crazy week, a short week because of our Memorial weekend last weekend, and I still feel like I'm trying to catch up, but we're getting there.
All right, man. So what I've made here is a simple kind of action plan for you to become more accountable. So the very first thing we need to do uh, is define your goals, uh, right? And sometimes this is something that we don't like to do, or we don't do it. But if we don't know where we're going, then it's like we don't know what we're doing. So we need to clearly define your goals and what you want to achieve. And there's actually there's this method. It's SMART goals, and SMART goals is for has to be specific. So it needs to be very specific what it is. Measurable, meaning you can measure the time it will take to achieve. Attainable, that you can actually attain it and have it done. Relevant, that is relevant for whatever that, if it is relevant, has to be relevant. And time bound. So time bound would be uh, that is bounded with time. So to be completed on that specific time frame.
You know,
So
the battle I have with that, Fabio, is and it's a personal battle, but I thought maybe it'd be a good thing to discuss on this point is, they I used to make hey Mark, glad you could make it. I used
awesome.
to make a list of about 10 goals a day, and always frustrated because of course I would achieve maybe four, maybe five of the goals. And then of course you put it in your little journal or whatever for the following day to try and do those other things, but yet your list keeps getting bigger. And I have found now that when I can whittle it down to the immediate goals, that I want to accomplish today, and then more long-term goals, maybe later in the week, maybe later in the month. So I have like a priority ranking. I don't know. Do you do it that way?
Yes, I do have priorities. I always ask myself the question like, what's that? What's those three things that I need to do, and then that are moving the needle, and I do those things.
So
Um,
you shoot for a magic number of three as well, because that's what I've
yeah,
I've yeah. Okay, that's
I do
fantastic.
that
Yeah.
when things are a bit bumbled, but uh, that's why. And then this comes to number two, which is breaking down your goals, uh,
Oh, I
because
got ahead of myself. Yeah.
into smaller, actionable steps, right? Breaking them
Yeah.
down and track your progress. Because so when I said, the three most important things that I do on a day, okay, those are like the main ones that I need at the moment. But if I'm planning like short-term goals, midterms, and long-term, and I break them into smaller tasks, I have to make sure that I complete those tasks no matter what. Now, those
Yeah.
tasks are non-negotiable,
Yeah. That's
or
the
else
word.
we don't get where we want to
Non-negotiable.
be.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the key word right there. The non-negotiables, the ones that before you put your head down at bed at night, you have to finish, and that many times can mean, staying up later, getting up earlier, just to make sure you've checked those off. Hey, Casey's in the house.
Oh yeah, okay. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. And so that's why it's good to set deadlines, or else with deadlines and setting a deadline is very important to do. when breaking down the goals into like weeks, days, weeks, and then months, and then giving a deadline, because deadlines are so important, because like the more time you give to a task, the longer it will take you. So giving deadlines to complete tasks, uh, it's something I do myself, and I get a lot done when I approach things like with the mindset of just making them happen really quick,
Yeah.
like in a blink of an eye. Like I want to send an email, takes me 2 minutes. Before I would go to Million Balls, I would look, click, see, change this. Now it's like boom, 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 done. So less time you give yourself, the better.
Do
But
you
now,
ever do you ever set a timer, for the task? Do you ever like I forget what that is it there's a theory on if you think you can do something in about an hour, you set a timer for a half hour, and it's kind of puts you pressure to stay focused.
love it. Yeah, I definitely have used that. Nowadays, I don't use much, but yeah, it's Pomodoro methods.
Oh, that's it, the Pomodoro. I knew
Yeah,
I was
yeah, definitely works amazingly
yeah.
to get things done. Uh, it's a great tool. I've used it a lot, and I've trained
Yeah.
myself with it. But sometimes it can like if you use it, that you have to stop, because like you really have to do the things
Right.
like work
It
20
can be
minutes.
intense.
Yeah, it has to. You have to stop, or else
Yeah.
because sometimes you can go for a longer time. So it's
Yeah.
not good for you too, huh?
Right. It's you definitely it's intense. You definitely have to take the breaks, because it's hard to keep up that pace all day long. Hey, Dell's here.
Yeah, Dels. I'd like to advise Father how to organize time management. Oh, Dale. Maybe this is Casey. All right, so we got Mark here. Summer is here. Pain to pleasure methods are working great right now, guys. Awesome. So yeah, then is setting deadlines very
Yep.
important, uh, so that you can really make sure that you do them, and prioritize tasks, right? The order of the tasks by their importance. And I found that the book, the one thing, it's a really good book to implement how to find the most important thing to do. That by doing that, everything else will become easy. So right, prioritizing your stuff, right? Now there's days that go bad, and in terms of like keeping accountable, keeping yourself accountable and staying committed, there's days that simply the days doesn't go how we like it, and
Right.
things just go off balance. And one thing that been doing for a long time is making my bed right in the morning. So starting the day with an achievement, the first
Yeah.
achievement, making the
Yep.
bed. And this one simple task will, you finish one task, then you go to the next one and you keep going. And the good thing about this is that even if your day goes really, really, really bad, you still have a bed done, ready to sleep.
Yeah.
And the next day, perhaps, will become better, right? So, because this happens even with me lately and everything.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to bring this topic up as well, because we
Yeah.
are. Go
I
ahead.
think the point behind that is that it's even simple accomplishments and making the bed first thing in the morning. It's so easy to walk away from it and not do it. But if you get yourself in that discipline of doing it, uh, like you said, even if it's a bad day, you're looking at that bed and it's interesting. It's a small sense of accomplishment, but you know, celebrating every little accomplishment helps you improve and get that momentum going through your day. So I do that as well. It's interesting.
Mhm. Absolutely, yeah, it happens. It's oh, we got so many comments coming in. Let me see, Casey. What? Oh, Casey, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if that is you, Casey. We're not seeing the names here on Facebook. When do you use my breaks? when do I use my breaks? Oh, when do you use your breaks? Oh, when you're working so much, and then how to stop it. That's a good problem to have. You can, but sometimes having a schedule should be mandatory discipline in your business. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why creating a schedule, right? Developing a daily schedule, weekly plan, and outlining how will we work to get those things done, right? Because it is stacking the most important tasks on top of them, making the most important things every single day that will move you closer to where you want to be. Now, doing tasks, and those are the wrong tasks. This is something that I've been doing for a long time. So, also choosing the tasks, does it really give that result? Because I remember back in the day, I was doing the same mistake over and over and expecting different results. So sometimes we can get spent into a circle, a cycle of doing the wrong things over and over again. It means we need to change things around and perhaps make you know, look at the bigger picture and see where things, or do something different, right? Um, and then tracking your progress, very important. This is what got me to uh, do really well online, was always tracking my progress and literally tracking what I've been able to do that day. How many leads that I got that day? How many booked calls that I got that day? All these things, and track it so that, and even journaling
Yeah.
on spreadsheets, right? Uh,
Yeah. Some
and track
sort.
your progress, or else you're not going to know where you're at. Uh,
Yeah. I think it, like for me, I do a journal. I'm still not good with spreadsheets. I know you're good with the spreadsheets, but you need to have something you can go back to and something that you can just review. And it's amazing how many times, uh, days, even months later, when you review something, it triggers something that, oh yeah, I need to get back to that. I need to. So definitely some sort of a journaling, some sort of a tracking mechanism is important.
Absolutely. And then another big factor is finding a partner, accountability partner,
Yeah.
um, that you can, share your goals, aspirations, and discuss with them regularly, checking in with them, and about, to keep them motivated, right? To keep you accountable. And that's why
Yeah.
coaching and what we do helps tremendously, because of the accountability that it has. That accountability partner, we would say, is more than just one person. It's many people, keeping you accountable, so you feel more motivated to put in the work and do the things.
Yeah.
Um, then is eliminates distractions, right? Because distractions will lead you to stop doing the things that you need to do. So, what are the distractions? And for me, it's something I have to think about that too as well. What is distraction right now that I need to
Well,
get rid of it?
it's funny. I think that for me right now, with all the different platforms, I'll be doing what initially starts out as research. I'll be researching different things on TikTok or on Instagram, and before I know it, I've totally forgotten what I'm researching, and I'm just watching, video after video. So those are the kind of things you really have to be conscious of. How easy the platforms can take you in a different direction, and
Absolutely, and
you know,
especially with consuming and especially short format content like TikTok or even Instagram. You're just scrolling there, and the thing by doing that is you're doing two very bad things. One is you're training yourself to be lazy,
yeah,
because
yeah,
you, and two, you are on consuming mode,
yeah,
which is not the mode you want to be in. So be
no,
careful. Actually,
yeah.
use a tool on Facebook. It's called it's a plugin. It's called actually, let me give you the name. It's pretty cool. Um, it's let me see. So it's
And I'm seeing Mark's question. What is your goal for the lifetime usage? We're trying to keep it to 30 minutes. until we grow more. Everything we do now is content training in our group. I think 30 minutes is an excellent goal. We Fabio and I try and keep it a minimum of 30, um, close to an hour. It's hard to keep your audience entertained. I don't want to say entertained, but focused. It's hard to get anybody's time nowadays for more than an hour. Many times, even the lives that I attend, I will go back because I just don't have the full hour. So I'll go back and listen to them. But I think a 30-minute goal is a good goal, and you'll start probably making them longer as your audience feedback gets more, or your topics get more in depth. But you're on the right track, Mark. Definitely.
Awesome there, yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, I would fire my partner too if she was distracting me from the beauty. You need somebody that looks more like you or me.
Awesome.
Oh, that was Brittany that made that comment. Oh, that's a beautiful shot with the little baby boy there. Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome. And yeah, and also, yeah, the tool I was talking about for like eliminating distractions, like one of them is just a Facebook feed eliminator or extractor that will literally take all your feed out, so you cannot see your feed.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Newsfeed irradiator. Newsfeed irradiator. So yeah, that tool pretty cool. To not
Newsfeed
show
irradiator.
Yeah.
And that's a plugin in Facebook? Or is it a Chrome extension?
Google Chrome extension, yeah.
Okay. There, I learned something new today. I'll use that.
Jim, you also have ADHD? I think that's Casey asking.
Yeah, I was never diagnosed with it, but I'm convinced I have it for sure. It wasn't such a popular diagnosis back when I was young. And exactly what Brittany says.
Another without finishing the first. Well, yeah, multitasking. That's easy to do. Yeah, and women like to do that a lot, but yeah. I don't know if women you put behind. Go ahead, Jim.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if women like to do it. I just think women are better at it than men for some reason. I'm sure there are studies that show that women can, we men can hardly talk and chew gum and walk at the same time. Women are unbelievable when it comes to multitasking. But the point being, multitasking is not good. So, you just work on it.
Yeah. I was saying I'm like you with getting distracted. Yeah, there's so many things pulling our attention from all angles. So
yeah,
I think like the best advice is build on what you have built, and sometimes like build on good habits one by one, and remove some bad habits that you have, and then things will start to get better. But also, not knowing what to do will get you everywhere. You'll do everything. And I remember on my online journey, it's been like this. I've been jumping from one thing to another, and this is a mistake, right? Now that I've invested on myself big, and I've learned from people that are doing really well. Now it's like I know what to do, and knowing what to do at each stage is important, especially online, because So then it's all about reviewing, taking action, and adjusting. So regularly see your plan of action, access it, celebrate your achievements as well. Learn from any setbacks and make adjustments as you need, right? As you go. If something's not working, right?
And we're all human. That's the thing. It's always trying to improve. That's the thing. As long as you wake up every day feeling better. And Mark says he's also got it.
Yeah.
A diehard. Oh, I get it. Abbreviation for a diehard dad. Yeah. Yep, there comes a time in life where you have to be that way. We have too many days, too many children to take care of. Yep, that's true.
And then also find ways to stay motivated, right? Motivation comes, a lot of my motivations come from within myself, right? Find ways to stay motivated. Uh, this can be like uh, giving you, like, visualizing you succeeding. There's so much stuff you can do to help you, uh, like, stay focused as well. Um, but yeah, staying motivated is also something important, but there's bad days. There's always bad days.
Oh yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
accountability, and it's an ongoing thing, uh, and it's a process, right?
yep,
So we cannot cover everything in detail in one session, but we can definitely go deep on some of them at
yeah.
some other lives that we do.
Oh sure.
But mindset and, accountability and having a plan, and sticking to it is such an important thing to do, um, because just being all over the place. And now I'm at the stage where I know exactly what I need to be doing. Um, and this is, you get this over time too, as you go and as you test a lot and as you fail a lot too, and you have setbacks, and when you achieve certain things and these things keep working and you keep repeating these same things and they keep giving you results, then you know you are on the right track and you keep doing the right thing multiple times, and then, right, so it's a process, it's a learning reiteration process. But I've done myself so many planning sessions, like so many ways of planning. I've done, like, a book just for the week, a book just for the month, and a book just for the day. So yeah, and each day I would go to it, but then I stopped using it because then it was yeah, I still, but then I had other methods. So I've tried so many things. It's I stick to what works. Um, but taking care of yourself right in the morning, and it's so important to get your day going right.
Well, and I think enjoying the process. Whatever you're doing, there's always going to be things you don't want to do, that that are on your list of things that you have to do in the day, and you don't enjoy doing them. But you try and keep those to a minimum, and more than anything, enjoy the process. How do we simplify step by steps continuous actions in our business to be able to help others build theirs who might have focus issues as well? Good question.
That's a good one. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's totally fine. Each person is at their journey, and so, like, there's phases too. Like, there's phases that you are more organized. Some stages you're not. But having a
And,
clear path and knowing what you want will definitely, and having action plan, it's the way to go, because or else you're gonna feel lost not knowing what you're doing. And
well, I
just
mean,
with everything in business, we need to track
uh,
everything. It's a numbers too, right? For data analysis, to see what we did. Like, if we took action certain time, what does that result in? Did we see any growth? And then as we take action and build, we then make good decisions. Um,
yeah, that's a great question because I think even today I don't want to say struggle, but I work on many of those things too. As we're doing in our own building of the academy, it's you just have to you keep repeating what you know is working, and it's a lot easier to go step by step that way. And you remember the things that aren't working and footnote that. Um, we can't be the know it all for everything. So it's that I think many times you get feedback from your clients that is actually something that you learn yourself. I've had that myself, and it works both ways. But it's that to answer your question, Mark, there, I think that definitely is just the one of those situations of the voice of experience. You'll get better at simplifying your step by step action plans for the people to follow you, and just learning off your own experience.
Absolutely. And sometimes I've noticed, uh, I'm sorry, we got a comment here. Let me see. Let me just get back. Casey, my name isn't showing. Oh yeah, that's Casey. Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
have to activate something which you need to let StreamYard on your Facebook. I never did that, I believe.
Yeah, it's very temperamental. Streamyard, most times if you give it permission to use your name right before you go on the call, but
Yeah,
I do that a lot of times, and it still doesn't give my name. So we'll just
yeah, awesome. And another thing that I found that this happens to a lot of people nowadays, and I see this just everywhere, is people get they like for instance, people get distracted with things that don't really matter. Like they for example, I know Builderall is a great tool and just any other tool out there, but they go to the tool, explore the tool, do this, do that, and end up not doing nothing throughout the day because they just spend their time and they being busy, and that's not a good. Being busy is not being busy is not good. I mean, if you are busy actually doing things that move the needle, then yeah. But just doing stuff just for the sake of doing and thinking you are progressing, I think I see that a lot with people. They just focus a lot on the tool. They focus a lot on things that don't really matter. Because at the end of the day, the tools are just meant to connect more people, to have more engagement, to connect on a deeper level. Right, these things is what really matters. Connecting with people on a deeper level, really understanding where they're at, and going deep. Like this has nothing to do with tools, nothing to do with other things and buttons and calls to actions, this and that. Even myself, I've spent so much time. Like when I was struggling, I remember, oh, okay, let me do this funnel, let me try to do this, do this, do this, and I feel that I see that the problem is not there in people, like online. I see they're focusing too much on these things that end up getting us nowhere. Because in a business, what really matters is income generating activities. What are these activities? What are the things that you need to be doing that generate revenue? So yeah, those are the things, especially and because everybody and because a lot of people online are in the beginning stages, they step up on the tool, and in my view, this really pulls people back, and it slows them down with all these tools and all these distractions all over the place, and they don't know what to do. Um, and that's why I believe, and I really like our academy, Inner Circle, is because we actually are with people there, coaching them, helping them move forward and keeping them accountable and all that stuff, and telling them exactly what to do at each stage because it can get confused. It can get sometimes we do things that don't really matter, and we just do those things like just seeing an email or just writing an email, uh, like things that don't move the needle. How can I explain? Like things that don't really matter, right? Like for example, I see so many people like they focus too much on the CRM, and now they make the CRM their home, and now they're wasting all their time on the CRM. But in reality, the CRM is just a tool to save data, but it doesn't do anything. It's just tracking data. What you need to be doing is actually connecting with people and having those meaningful conversations and and getting people on the call, if that's the case, if that's your marketing strategy. But anyhow, I went on a rant a little bit there, Jim.
well, it's interesting how often we're trying to get a point across, and more thoughts come into our head
Yeah.
about, oh, let me talk about this, let me talk about that.
Hmm. You got
I,
Casey.
I
Mm.
can't remember who the guy was who bought about 7 alarm clocks to set them up various times, put them all over the room. When one went off, he turned it off. started the next test. Wow. That would drive me crazy because I've done 2 alarms before to, to set 2 different things. But yeah, whatever works. That's the thing. You come up with a system that works. And, as Fabio was saying, it's just basically that developing that self-discipline and helping you stay focused. Because I know that's my big issue throughout the day. I can get busy doing something and then kind of go off, as Fabio was saying, on maybe improving. Oh, let me work on this video editing, and then I'll lose time on that. And that wasn't even on my list of things to accomplish that day. So
I love that, Jim. Yeah. Okay.
You reevaluate. You just look at, hey, did this do me good, or was this just useless energy wasted? And we just keep working on it.
Yeah, and always be open to feedback as well from others. Gain different perspectives, different ways of looking at things, right? Because for me, I was always I had this haha moment uh, when I was, coaching people for $49 a month, and then this guy opened my mind on a process that I could literally, make 20 times that amount with one single person and actually help that person much, much better, actually help them the right way. And so that's a big shift, right? Because it literally takes the same amount of time to sell an item that is $10, and then that is to sell an item that is, for instance, $2,000 or $3,000. It takes about the same time, almost the same kind of effort is if you compare. So I wanted to share that because it really was a haha moment for me, because not just because of the because one thing is, and you hear somebody say that. One thing is you actually live the experience and you go through it, and then you have this breakthrough, and all of a sudden, like, a big door opens to you, and wow, I just made $4,000 in one single day, right? So one single day, one person only, right?
Yeah.
It's a game changer, right? When you can have an offer that delivers so much value that and usually when people pay more, they also pay more attention, and they actually take the action, and that's when they see results. And that happened to me. So learning from others, keep improving and being open. Like I remember, I jump into a lot of sales calls, even from other people, just to see their approach, to see how they go about it. I'm always open-minded. When somebody comes with a strategy to me, I always evaluate, and always with the open mind, not say, oh, this is wrong, this is that. Just see and have open mind, because nowadays people are a lot like this. They just have they want to be like that, and it has to be like that, only that. They're not open to see other ways of doing things. And but sometimes it depends. Some people are just in different moods, different lifestyle moments and situations and roadblocks and things. And yeah, I just deal with so many situations that it's interesting.
Yeah. And when you were talking about that, it brought to mind that we're all conditioned to think, I think, that more is better. And, when you start growing in your business, you're thinking, if I get more clients, that'll be better. But a lot of times there are actually reasons why you don't want more clients. You can be having time constraints. You can be having, you can't give 100% or over deliver in your service that you're providing. I actually knew a gentleman one time who told me that he was getting so fed up with all the people that were, the jobs that he was having to do in his landscaping business, that he just raised his pricing. And amazingly, he actually increased his profits by doing that, because the people that valued his work, that knew about his reputation, were willing to pay what he increased his pricing to. Whereas the people that didn't value that, it was no loss to him, because those are generally were going to be the clients that were going to complain about one thing or another. So it's to always be thinking that more is better, as in more, more followers, more clients. It's not necessarily always better. And I think that for me was a turning point. It's just really, as we're trying to do, is you try and give 100% to the people you're working with. And to my amazement, many times you learn things in the process. I think that's what I enjoy the most out of this is what you learn, what we learn along the process of being, the teachers or the coaches. I'd always heard when I was younger, teachers say that, when I was in college about how they learn off their students. And I didn't get that, but it's amazing what you can learn just from a question, the reflective thought. I mean, as Mark asked earlier about, what is the ideal time? I never really stopped to think about that, but with the attention span of people nowadays, or just the way society is, it's and I'm off on a tangent now.
Well, Mark has a great comment over here. You want to?
Goals attached to schedules creates a vision that is to be journeyed and attained. Goals attached to schedules creates a vision that is to be
I must
journeyed
say,
and
Mark,
attained.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's okay to fail, but fail forward. When you fail and when something is not working or it doesn't happen, don't fail backwards. Don't just you gotta fail forward. You've come to this far not just because you've come to this far. Just keep going and never give up, of course. Um,
that's one of the toughest lessons.
yeah,
The term failing forward, because of course when we all fail, it's that moment of, I think the easiest way to look at it is in sports. When a team has worked so hard in a championship and they end up being the losing team, you many times, like talking about football in the Super Bowl, or in the World Cup in soccer, the two teams that get there, nobody in that moment is appreciating how hard both teams work to get there. And in the end of the day, one of those teams is going to lose. And it's not any indication that the team that lost was less of a team than the other team. It was just on that given day, that given competition, they lost. So by failing forward, what they do is what's tough to do is after you get past that, you can't believe you lost, or you can't believe you failed. You start to reflect and look at that's what they do. They reevaluate the game. They watch the videotapes. They study what went wrong in that game. And many times that's where the best lessons are learned, where you say, our defense was poor every time on the third down and one option. It was just those kind of things. We had too many. I mean, we could talk specifics, but that to me is so important, because all throughout my own personal life, the way I was taught in school, you always had to get the straight A's. To get a B or a C was failure, and that standard is just so unreal. What you should be taught is that yes, the A is the goal and the vision to get there, but learning. If you didn't get that A in that test, you learn and you evaluate what you didn't learn, what was wrong in that test, so that you can perform better the next time.
Yeah, and also another thing that's amazing. Another thing I want to add in right now is also your drive, the drive that you have. It is something that is on you. And if somebody pointed a gun at you and said your mother is gonna die tomorrow, if you can't achieve this, or I think you'd find a way to achieve it. You'd find a way.
Yeah.
So think like that. Like there's a way. It's your drive. You have to. And when I talk about motivation, sometimes that drive that comes from within you. And I remember when I was really going nuts with promoting Builderall at the time, I went on to beast mode, and beast mode is literally posting three, 4 times on each group, like 10, 20 posts on each group, like really going crazy. I just replying to people, boom, 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 all day, communicating, boom, 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 closing, right? But that was on the DMs, and so your drive will define a lot, because your drive is everything, and you can be you can do really well if you decide that your drive is gonna be big, and you're gonna go out and you're gonna make it happen, and you go and do it, right? So it comes from you, right? It's an inside job too.
Yeah, what I'm
But
amazed about is how many times, um, you go to events and like I'll just use Tony Robbins as an example. His events are just incredible. The energy that everybody has, but many people that go to those events, like everything in life, it's just a waste of money because they're all energized for a couple of days and then they don't implement all the things they learned throughout that weekend of of his event. And that's the key thing, to recognize that you're 100% accountable for what happens. Of course you can say, well, I paid $20,000 to go to this event and I didn't get anything out of it. Well, more than not, that's on the individual, because
absolutely,
you know
yeah, absolutely. So
it's
even if nobody's watching, you have to stay accountable to yourself,
yeah, yeah, it
right?
always comes back to that. I mean, we can, of course, there are events in life that happen that we can't control, but that's the whole thing about your
Hey, Eric.
energy. Hey, Eric! Wow,
Good to
thank you for
see you, my
stopping
friend.
in. That's a
Yeah,
privilege, an
Eric is
honor. Yeah,
indeed. Good to see you,
great
Eric.
guy, great
Yeah,
guy, Eric. Yeah,
good to see you here. So yeah, those are some tips and some things you can do um, to improve and to be more accountable and stay committed. But yeah, your drive, it's what's gonna do it. Now, if you were in the beginning stages, right in the beginning stages, and you don't know what to do, well, if you haven't done your bed, if you don't do your bed every day in the morning, that's the first thing. That's the first thing you need to start doing, because
that's a
it
good
starts
starting
right there.
point.
If you
Yeah,
do
it's a
it
good
wrong,
starting point.
everything else might it goes wrong, and then you're gonna feel bad, and then your bed is not gonna be done. It's not gonna be clean. It's like you're messing up from the start, right?
Yeah,
And there's so many things you can improve on, right? So, but indeed, my friends, awesome, Eric. Eric is doing
yeah.
really well. Um,
He's
Shout
a
out to
great
him.
example. Eric's a great example. Um, Admire him, respect him.
Awesome, yeah, and I've known him for quite some time. It's interesting how
Yeah,
I've been coached by uh, same people, and we've worked together too. Me and him. I remember, like, I was helping him with emails and things like that on Builder, all back and forward, and he kept just going. He was always asking questions, always curious, always pushing, and that's what it takes, right? You have to always
yep.
push yourself. Uh,
Well, to me, he's an excellent example of what we were covering earlier about, failing forward. He is, I mean, he is always talking openly about, his trials and tribulations. And he's a perfect example of, going after it, keeping the vision and taking all the steps on his
yeah,
way to
and
event in
investing in
Denver.
yourself. Hmm?
I don't know. I'm not sure what event is going on in Denver. I don't know if it's his event, but that's a nice place to be having an event. Colorado this time of year
Love,
is
love it. Yeah,
good,
I
a good time.
gotta keep putting in yourself, investing in yourself. That's what's really. And Eric is not afraid. He's been investing in himself a lot, and that's indeed the
Yeah,
the reason why he's grown so much too.
yeah. And look at that.
Yeah,
He's expressing his gratitude to you. That's what I mean. He's all around great guy. He's
yeah, I
so many
love
of
him.
these.
He's so cool.
He I've watched Eric basically from the beginning, and his accomplishment to um, his partnerships with Anthony and Barbara, and what he's done in his business is just it's a great example. I mean, he's definitely someone to follow and to learn from. I've learned so many things from him myself, and uh, that's it's funny. It's kind of like we're all taking it in, and we're all learning, and we're all giving our own message. But there's a lot of scammers out there, and that's the tough part about it. People who are
Yeah.
trying to be genuine and who are giving of themselves, as opposed to the people who are just playing. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and if it wasn't for, and it's interesting in online, the people you hang around with are really important, right? You need to hang around with people that are motivated, they wanna, and they're eager to make change. And being around these people will definitely help you make better decisions. For instance, Eric, like he's the one that got me into uh, at the time creative brand framework, which is with Nina and Brad. He's the one that brought me in. He said he saw that he learned and he got results, and he brought me in, right? And I invested
yeah,
in myself, right?
yeah,
If it wasn't for me investing in myself and being around people that are eager to make it happen, then things wouldn't I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. To be honest,
yeah.
if I hadn't invested in myself at that time, I would be totally at a different place. We never know what could happen, but uh, I wouldn't get to do 10K in 1 month. It was my dream back in the, like I always wanted to achieve that. I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't
Yeah.
for him at that time recommending me the right person to invest with.
Well, I
And
mean,
I'm
it's
very
not just
grateful.
the not just in the virtual world. I think it, like just to, in life, it's there. I know many people who have had to distance their relationships with their own family and friends because their vision of what they wanted to accomplish was being criticized by their own family and friends, and that's a tough thing to do. You would think that, wait a minute, you grew up with these people; these are the people that supposedly love and support you. But if you're not getting that support, you definitely need to continue with your vision and be with people who give you that support, who share that same vision, who are like you. I mean, it's funny. It all goes back to, we find people like us. I mean, along this journey, I've run into many scammers, and I'm not communicating with them anymore. I don't. You may fall for it once or twice, but we learn from that. We lick our wounds and we go on and let those people, wish them well, say a prayer for them, and let them go on doing their thing. But like you said, we find the people that are like minded, that are like us, they're
Yeah, and surrounding yourself
same
with
morals.
the people that are a bit of in front of where you want to be, and it truly helps, right? So, Casey here, indeed, when you are not inspired in friends, you have, well, well, you could do two things. I mean, not everybody will inspire you, right? But will do other great things to you. So it really depends. But you cannot feel inspired by everybody. But inspiration can come from everywhere, from all angles. Sometimes just one conversation on a live can lead you into something great, into greatness. Something you can grab off something can inspire you to do great things, right?
But if I'm understanding Casey's question, or what she's asking there,
Hmm.
it's if she's not, if in other words, if she has, let's go with one friend, if she has one friend that she spends most of her day with who doesn't inspire, and she feels like that friend is dragging her down or criticizing her, or just not a good energy for her, I would definitely advise her to spend less time with that friend. And and that's what I love about the virtual world. I mean, it's not as good as being there. It's not as good as having your friend in front of you, but there are a lot of people that I call my virtual friends, and I spend a lot of time communicating with them through the virtual world as if I was visiting with them here in my own home, or, having coffee with them. So it's a hard thing to do. It's hard to, I mean, I had a friend in college who was always very critical about his life versus mine, how everything was so wonderful for me and how everything was so terrible for him. In the beginning, I was very sympathetic for him. I was always giving him support, letting him borrow my things. I was always trying to make his day better. And I just got to a point where I hate to say it, I just got tired of it. I was like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be
Hmm.
criticized, because I have a car to drive and you don't. I mean, I would always lend him my car, and yet I would ask him, "Hey, don't give it back to me empty. If you take long trips, fill it up with gas." And he didn't do that. So those are the kind of things that, regardless how much love you have for the individual, if their energy, or if
And they're
they're,
dragging you down.
yeah,
You
you
want to
you
eliminate.
have to.
Eliminate. That's rule. Yeah, and the more you say no, the more you say no, the better. Right?
Yeah.
definitely. It's
Yeah.
when I said no to all of my friends here that I locked myself, and I said no to all of them. That all of a
Yeah.
suddenly, because I left all these bad influences that I was having, all of a suddenly, out of the blue, my life improved. I mean, I went into the
Yeah.
depression, but then it started improving just
Yep.
by letting those people behind. And
Yeah.
nothing wrong about them, but they're on their own journey, doing their own
Right.
thing, and
That's it.
yeah, definitely love that.
Yeah.
It's an entire event. Oh, that's from Eric. Awesome.
Is it
Well,
is it
the
your
event
event?
he's talking about is
Yeah,
on
I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm sorry, I'm missing
December.
out. Sorry, I'm missing out.
Yeah, listen to lots of value. Thank you, Eric. And yeah, with that said, it was a great live today. We're
We're running
almost
out
at
of
one
time.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
let's we already covered like the main stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Well,
and
thanks everybody for attending.
yeah, it was a pleasure being with you guys, and looking forward to seeing you guys on the next live. We're doing every Thursday, making sure that every Thursday we are here. But definitely, there are other lives where I'm on alone or with Jim, and you can find them on the Facebook community that we have. Also, below this video, there's a link where you can schedule a time with me and Jim or one of us, so we can learn more about you and see if we can help you on your journey.
Absolutely. And I'm taking tomorrow off, so I'll wish everybody an early weekend. We're going to celebrate my dad's 90th birthday this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that.
All right, awesome. Enjoy, Jim, and everybody watching. Pleasure to have you guys here, and
Take care.
thanks for stopping by. And have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye bye,
All right,
everyone.
cheers. Bye. Take care, guys.